The Galactic Council chamber fell into an uneasy silence as the human delegation arrived. Ambassador Roman stood at the entrance, his posture relaxed yet commanding, while beside him walked Kendall, a young human woman who appeared entirely unremarkable by her species standards. She carried a small thermal container, the kind humans used to transport their sustenance. The assembled leaders' representatives from 47 civilized worlds shifted nervously in their biosuited environments. They had invited humanity to join the council, but the invitation came with a test, a demonstration. They needed to understand what made humans so uniquely terrifying among the galaxy's species. "Honored Council," Roman began, his voice steady and diplomatic, "you asked us to demonstrate why humanity deserves a seat among you. My colleague Kendall has volunteered for this presentation." Kendall smiled warmly and waved at the assembled aliens. Several flinched. She found an empty space near the center of the chamber and sat down cross-legged on the polished floor, completely at ease despite being surrounded by some of the most powerful beings in known space. "I'm just going to eat my lunch," she announced cheerfully, opening her container. The Vexorian Prime Minister, a crystalline being who communicated through light pulses, flickered anxiously. "We were told humans come from a class 12. Surely you did not bring us here to watch simple consumption of nutrients." Roman's expression remained neutral. "Please, just observe." Kendall pulled out her first item, a bright red apple. She bit into it with a satisfying crunch that echoed through the chamber. The sound made several delegates jump in their seats. The Zephyrsian ambassador, whose species had evolved on a world with 0.3 standard gravity and consumed only pre-digested liquid nutrients, began to tremble. She's consuming it raw, unprocessed plant matter with protective chemical deterrents still intact. "It's called fiber," Kendall explained between bites. "Good for digestion." She finished the apple, core and all, seeds included. A gasping sound emanated from the Centaurian sector. Their representative had fainted. Next, Kendall withdrew a sandwich. The delegates leaned forward, morbid curiosity overcoming their fear. She took a large bite, and as she chewed, Roman provided commentary. That sandwich contained several key components: bread made from ground seeds of a grass species, mixed with a fungal culture called yeast, then exposed to extreme heat; cheese, a product created by introducing beneficial bacteria to animal lactation fluids, then allowing controlled decay; lettuce, raw plant leaves; tomato, the reproductive organ of a nightshade plant; and turkey, preserved flesh from an avian creature. The chamber erupted in chaos. A Quilithian delegate vomited in their containment suit. 2 Arcturian representatives fled toward the exits, their 6 legs scrambling for purchase on the smooth floor. "She's consuming decay," one shrieked. "Intentional bacterial colonies. She ate seeds." Another howled. "Weaponized plant embryos designed to survive digestive systems." "And flesh," whispered the Andromedan chancellor, their voice synthesizer barely functioning. "Actual muscle tissue from another creature." Kendall took another bite, completely "Would anyone like to try some?" "I have plenty." 3 more delegates fled. She reached back into her container and pulled out a small packet. "Oh, I almost forgot my hot sauce." "Hot sauce?" The Vexorian Prime Minister's light pattern showed deep confusion mixed with existential dread. "Yeah, it's made from capsaicin peppers. They evolved to cause pain in mammals to prevent consumption. We just thought they tasted good, so we cultivated them to be even more painful and put them on our food." She doused her sandwich liberally and took another enormous bite. The Draconian Supreme Commander, who had personally led campaigns against the Hive Wars and never shown fear, began backing away slowly. "They consume pain, weaponized plant defenses. For pleasure." Roman nodded. "Humans have been doing this for thousands of years. We find approximately 70% of our food from other species categories of poisonous, protected by chemical defenses, or requires specialized adaptations to consume." Kendall pulled out a small bag of almonds. "These have cyanide in them naturally. The crunch is really satisfying though." 4 more delegates rushed for the exits, screaming for their security details. "And for dessert," Kendall said brightly, producing a chocolate bar, "I have this. It's made from cacao beans, which are toxic to most Earth species, combined with refined sugar which we extract from plants and concentrate until it becomes practically toxic in milk. More of those dairy products with the bacterial cultures." She unwrapped the chocolate and took a bite, closing her eyes in contentment. Dark chocolate, 75% cacao. The remaining delegates sat frozen, unable to look away from the horrifying spectacle. Roman continued his presentation. "This is a standard meal for a human. Kendall is not a soldier, not enhanced, not specialized in any way. She's a university student studying She was eating this for lunch anyway, so we thought it would be informative." The Quilithian ambassador, who had managed to recover from his earlier distress, raised a trembling appendage. "Your planet, Earth. What classification did you say?" "Class 12 Death World," Roman confirmed. "Gravity 1.0 standard. Oxygen-rich atmosphere that causes metal to decay. Home to 8 million species, all competing for survival. Weather patterns that can shift from freezing to boiling with violent storms. and a star that bombards the surface with radiation that damages cellular structures, and you evolved to eat everything on it, the ambassador whispered. Pretty much, Kendall agreed, finishing her chocolate. We're omnivores. We can derive nutrition from almost any organic material. The Vexorian Prime Minister's light pattern had dimmed to almost nothing. We invited an apex predator species to join the council. No, Roman corrected gently. You invited a species that turned an entire hostile planet into a garden, that looked at toxins and decided they were seasonings, that domesticated other predators for companionship. We're not conquerors, we're survivors. And now, we'd like to help the galaxy survive too. Silence filled the chamber. Then, slowly, the Vexorian Prime Minister brightened. The vote for humanity's admission to the Galactic Council. I move to make it unanimous. The motion passed without a single objection. Kendall packed up her lunch container and smiled. So, does this mean we're in? Because I brought cookies for everyone. The delegates who remained fled screaming,